Welcome back to Tack and Track. I'm Brad.
And I'm Gil. Today we're talking about the Ruger 1022 Target Lite. You've got some kind of hodgepodge little cheap gun over there that you've been shooting against this one.
Yes, so the Target Lite, just for a frame of reference, is Ruger's factory hopped up Ruger 1022. And it's specifically targeted at Steel Challenge style matches, which is what me and Gil have been shooting a lot of in Rimfire Challenge.
Yep.
And Gil is right. Over here we have my gun that I recently built specifically to compete with Gil's Target Lite. So, Gil, you went out Bass Pro?
Yeah, just went to a Bass Pro, picked this up, I want to say $600, about what it run, and I got there right before some other guy who was trying to buy the same gun. It was the last one. I got there just in time. So I got to take it home, and I'm in love with it, guys. I absolutely adore this gun. We have so much fun in the rimfire challenges and steel challenges, and this gun makes it easy to compete.
And so I was using my Ruger 1022 Target Takedown over there, which realistically isn't ideal for this, and we'll talk about that gun in a custom gun segment at some point. And Gil brought this out and just smoked me. It was bad.
Yeah.
So I decided I was going to one-up him, and we'll talk about this one too. I custom built this gun. I mean, no expense spared, Valcorkson carbon fiber barrel, Timony Elite trigger.
Yep. And I'm jealous of that trigger.
Yeah,
that
trigger is sweet. But really, this gun performed almost as well. So let's talk about our 5 categories. The first one of which is value. And this goes very heavily into this conversation. So you said you spent what on this?
About $600, which to me is, I still can't believe that 22s are that expensive for what they are.
The Valcorkson Inspector.
Really
So I'm with Gil, and I don't think the $600 price tag of this gun is anything to sneeze at. That's really expensive for a 22.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got
more.
Yeah, a lot more, nearly double probably in my Ruger 1022. Is this as good? I don't know that it is, but it's certainly close enough to where Gil can still beat me with it.
Yeah, I think if that gun was $100 more, it'd be worth getting. But it's not. So this to me was the answer. It's ready to go out of the box. I don't have to touch it except for to put an optic on it. It's got a threaded barrel. It's got the bull barrel, which I like. The chassis is really comfortable. The trigger is pretty decent. Magazines are the same BX25s that fit in all of these Ruger 1022s, so they're not cheap, but they're not expensive either, and they're readily available at any gun shop.
And this gun for $600 will make you feel like a superhero. I mean, it really will. These things are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So, value score out of 5, Gil.
I'm going to give it a 4.41. I mean, I think that's fantastic value for what you get, even though it's expensive for a 22.
It is expensive for a 22, but I'm 100% with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, of use, this is kind of one of the points where all of the Ruger 1022s really shine.
Yeah.
They're very easy to use, very easy to take down, very easy to clean. If you do have an issue, just the way their mags work, and see if you can see that right there. You've got this big opening right here. So if you do get a shell stuck in there, it's really easy to get it out.
Yep.
They're really easy to take down. Now, I do have a gripe.
Mm-hmm.
As you pull the chassis off a Ruger 1022, and this applies to any of them, the pins aren't retained. They just sit there. So you run the risk of when you flip it over, all the pins falling out.
Mm-hmm.
You have to reassemble it.
Yeah.
That is a little bit of a problem on the ease of use. But other than that, I mean, cross-bolt safety, which for you right-handed folks out there, that's great.
Yeah.
Right? Cross-bolt works great if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, you're used to this by now.
Yeah, and your mag release on here is fine. On the regular 1022, which we have over here. You got to push up in to pull the mag out. This has a tang here that you can use to pull the magazine out. And then you can get aftermarket ones, like Brad's got here, that's a lot longer and even easier to use.
Yeah, so I do like this a little bit better than what we get on the Target Lite.
Yeah.
The question is, do I like it as much better as one of these Timney Elite triggers actually cost?
Right.
And this has got the Ruger BX25 trigger in it, or the Ruger BX trigger.
Yeah, it's got the BX trigger, which is a fine trigger. I've never found that it's been a problem for me. I could probably get my splits down with a little bit better trigger, but for the cost, I mean, I think that's the answer until, you know, you hit the lottery, get you a better trigger. But
so, ease of use score.
Ease of use.
4 or 5? Think that's fair?
I think that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's a fairly simple gun. It works really well. To reliability. Now, I admit I didn't clean the gun for a few competitions, but I have had some feeding issues from magazines, and I honestly want to attribute that to the ammunition itself, not the gun.
What ammunition have you been using?
Been using CCI mini mags. They're copper jacketed, and I feel like the jacket seats down over the brass a little bit, causing it not to want to feed sometimes, because every time I pull one out, it's either bent or that jacket is over the brass, and just had some issues with that particular ammunition.
And I'll tell you this, these Ruger 1022s, and this applies to all the ones that we have and we've shot, are a little bit pickier than Matt in ammunition than, say, that Valcourse. That Valcourse will run on anything, anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, I think I've had a little bit better luck feeding my Ruger 1022s than you probably have here lately. Mm-hmm. And I'm using CCI standards rather than the CCI mini mags. The CCI mini mags are targeted as a higher quality of ammunition.
Yeah.
But I've been having better luck out of my CCI standards than you have out of these. I don't know if you've tried the Federal in yours, have you?
I haven't tried the Federal.
I've had really bad luck with the Federal. Off camera right there's a box of it which just reminded me of that. But yeah, I've had trouble with the Federals in it. I think there's 2 weak points in reliability here.
With any 22, but
specifically, maybe a little bit more with the Ruger 1022 and some of the others, is they seem to be a little bit more picky on ammo. And the one thing you have here that you don't have with some of the other guns is these are picky about magazines.
Yes.
Very picky about mags. Even factory Ruger mags, they have a tendency to be picky on. We've got some Marlins, and we'll do a comparison video between a standard Marlin and a standard Ruger 1022. But those feed out of any mag. I mean, old mags, shot mags. I use Pro mags in mine all the time, which are historically unreliable. They seem to run great there. These, I really recommend, if you're going to buy mags for these, buy the Ruger mags, and if you need 5, buy 7.
Yeah. I would say if you're using 10 round mags, they're a little bit more reliable than the 25s. And the 25s, I've had issues because I was holding my hand down on the magazine, which was putting a little pressure on it, so it wasn't feeding properly. But once I moved my hand out here, I didn't have those issues and shot a lot better. So, pro tip, don't hold it by the mag.
So you think a reliability score of maybe 3.2 would be fair here?
Yeah, I mean, it's eaten a ton of ammo, but I have had a few hang-ups, so that sounds fair to me.
The next thing on the list is accuracy.
Accuracy it's got.
Right.
Accuracy it's got now. When you're doing the rimfire challenge or steel challenge, you're on the move with your shot. I mean, you're barely stopping before you move on. So we're not doing the precision long range shots with these.
Right.
But for what we are doing, if you get that optic sighted in, you're going to hit it every time.
While we're on the subject of pro tips, pro tip: if you're going to shoot rimfire or steel challenge with a Ruger 1022, these little guys right here, absolutely fantastic. These are Seymours, and if you notice, we've got a Seymour on this, we've got a Seymour on the Valcourse back there, I've got a Seymour on mine. The only reason you don't see a Seymour on my little guy is because they're expensive.
They're expensive, and they don't I don't know. They don't seem like they would be a battle-ready
No.
kind of thing. I mean, it's aluminum, but I feel like it would be easier to break than some other optics.
And this one's aluminum. You can get them plastic. One of these around here is actually a plastic model, and it's $300 for a plastic red dot.
Yeah.
But with that being said, they work great.
That brings us to what? Our fifth category?
Fun factor.
Fun factor. Fun factor. Ton of fun. I really do not regret any time I take this gun out.
No.
And it's cheap to run.
Guys, this is where the Ruger 1022 and any of its variants really shines, but this one in particular is absolutely a blast. And the really nice thing about 22s is you can still afford to shoot them, and still afford to shoot them all day. These are just really, really, really fun guns, and I think fun factor is probably where any Ruger 1022 comes. So Gil, on a scale of 5, where would you put this in fun factor?
I can't give it a 5, so I'm going to go 4.7.
Okay.
The only reason I wouldn't give it a 5 is because it could be a wilder color.
Yes.
Which would make it more fun. But I absolutely love this chassis and the paint job that it's got, more or less. But
I'm going to agree with you, but I'm going to say the one thing that makes a Ruger 1022 better, or at least, I don't know that I would say better, more fun, is the trigger and that guy.
Yeah.
Banners. But these are an absolute blast. I'm going to agree with your score of 4.7. Absolutely correct there.
Yeah, it earns it. I've never had a better day at the range than taking this guy out and smoking him in any competition that we do. So.
All right, guys. After hearing Gil continue to run his mouth today, I'm going to call that the end of the video. Thanks for checking us out today on Tack and Track. And like always, please like, comment, subscribe, post your favorite Ruger 1022 builds down there in the bottom, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Stand by. Good. There you go. 3, 4. 297. Are you ready?
Ready.
Stand by. 244.